Hello, I'm Connor. I'll be interviewing Liz today. I'm in an interviewing class where we are told to interview somebody that lives and works in Oneonta. It will be about a 10 to 15 minute interview. Okay, are you okay with me recording?
Yes,
All right.
of course.
Can you tell me a little bit about your career path with working at Peter Clark Student Rentals?
I actually answered an ad in the Daily Star almost 40 years ago, and I started in a real estate office. And from there, I met Peter, who was buying real estate, and then started buying and selling houses with him, and then moved into managing for the rentals.
Okay. And what motivated you to become what you are now in this role in the office?
The property manager,
Yeah, like
general
as
manager.
property manager, yeah.
I think Peter.
Okay.
Honestly, he asked me over the course of 2 years, like numerous times, and I'm like, no, it sounds too complicated, but I finally did, and I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, been doing it 16 years.
So what are some of the key responsibilities you have as your job?
Day-to-day running the office, keeping an eye on showings, make sure they're rented, maintaining properties, doing, bookkeeping,
Yeah.
paying taxes, and all the fun stuff.
And then what is one thing that you find most rewarding when renting to college students?
When they're happy.
Okay. Yeah.
When you can find that perfect place for them, they can move in and stay for a year or two and just really enjoy the college experience.
Okay. And then we're gonna go into some experiences with working in Oneonta. How would you describe the student rental market in Oneonta compared to other areas?
I'm not real familiar with other areas of the markets, but I would think it'd be a little on the lower side of, some of the bigger competitors.
And then what are some of the most common challenges you face with students and being the landlord?
Repairs, keeping up with all the repairs and shoveling the snow in time and
Yeah. And then have you noticed any major trends or shifts in the rental industry since you started?
yes, especially in Oneonta. It used to be you could rent to everything and not even have enough housing for students, but then they started developing more properties. So now there's not as many, opportunities to rent to students.
And then we're gonna go over into living in Oneonta. How'd you come to live into Oneonta, and what do you most enjoy about it?
I was actually born and raised in Oneonta,
Okay.
and I've just never left. I like the small town living. I like that you know everybody and you're familiar with everything.
And then let's carry on with that. What are some of the favorite aspects of the Oneonta community?
Small town living.
And the smaller businesses and everything that?
Yeah. Personal
Okay.
businesses, you can walk in, I can walk into the bank and they're like, hey Liz, how you doing?
Yeah.
Where you don't get that in the bigger cities. You know everybody and they're all helpful and I'll try to work together.
Are there any changes or improvements you would like to see in Oneonta as a city?
Yes, I would love to see something, with less homelessness, because it does kind of detract from, the sometimes break in basements and, so I would love to see that kind of shift and change.
Okay. We're gonna go the insights of the student housing market and how students see everything. From your perspective, what makes a successful landlord tenant relationship with Oneonta students?
I think communication.
Big communication.
Yeah, communicating with them and, communicating with their parents and trying to provide a quality product.
Yeah. Do you anticipate any trends or policies that impact student housing in the future with AI and all this new technology and everything like that? Do you think it's going to change
I
anything
think
in
it
the future?
probably will change. I am not great at that, so I don't know how that's all going to play out, but I do believe that probably will take over part of the market.
Yeah. And then we're going to move into our last and final thing. It would be advice for professionals entering the industry. What key skills do you think are essential for someone looking to succeed in the student housing market?
A lot of patience.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes it's very challenging, just trying to work with students and parents and tenants, and not even always students, but just tenants in general, to make them all happy. And it requires a lot of patience, and you have to be able to multitask.